guys, it's Empress. I'm back with another one. Let's get to it.
It's more than a statement, it's a way of life. Celebration, the Mr. Jackson talking.
Alright guys, so today we're going to be watching an interview from David Bowie. It's from 1983.
Can I ask you some punishing questions a bit later?
Be my guest.
No.
Ooh, punishing questions. You know he's about to get into it. I just love his smile too.
What about those punishing questions you were going to ask me?
Well, yeah, do you have the time?
We've got nothing but.
We have plenty of time.
I don't know, it's up to you guys. I'd like to ask you something.
We've got time.
All right. It occurred to me, having watched MTV over the last few months, that it's a solid enterprise and it's got a lot going for it. I'm just floored by the fact that there's so few black artists featured on it. Why is that?
Ooh.
I think that we're trying to move in that direction. We want to play artists that seem to be doing music that fits into what we want to play for MTV.
What does that mean? What was preventing them from moving to that direction? It was black artists out there who had videos. Only thing they had to do was acquire the videos. However the process was, the same way they did the white artists, they could have did the black artists. Excuses. Let's go.
The company is thinking in terms of narrow casting.
That's evident. It's evident in the fact that the only few black artists that one does see are on about 2:30 in the morning
What?
to around 6. Very few are featured predominantly during the day.
No,
Ooh, David had them receipts, 2:30 in the morning, so y'all trying to play the black artists when nobody ain't watching, really? My respect level just went from like up here, to like up here. Let's go.
For the last couple of weeks, these things have been changing, but it's a slow process.
I know, it's funny, I think people have different perceptions. When you wind up watching, let's say you watch an hour or 2 or even 3 a day, people somehow come away with different ideas about what we are doing. We don't have any kind of day parting for anything, let alone a black artist day parted out of what would be, quote, prime time. We don't have that.
Because one sees a lot there's one black station on television that I keep picking up. I'm not sure which station it's on.
Was that BT?
But there seem to be a lot of black artists making very good videos that I'm surprised aren't used on MTV.
Well, of course, also we have to try and do what we think not only New York and Los Angeles will appreciate, but also Poughkeepsie or Midwest.
So basically the racist places, is that what you're trying to say? Like, and I'm not saying that specific town is racist itself, but excuses.
Some town in the Midwest that will be scared to death by Prince, which we're playing, or a string of other black faces.
That's
and black
very
music.
Oh, I'm offended. Let's go.
Interesting. Isn't that interesting?
You know, we have to play the music that we think an entire country is going to like, and certainly we're a rock and roll station now. The question would be asked, well, should, since we're in New York, should PLJ play, the Isley Brothers? Well, you and I might say yeah, because we have grown up in an era when the Isley Brothers mean something to me, and so do the Spinners, even way after the Isley Brothers. But what does it mean to a 17-year-old? Well,
First of all, that's like asking, what's this, like 1983? Should they play a Roy Orbison new track, right? That don't even make sense. It's not like the Isley Brothers and the Spinners were the only black groups out. Okay, 1983, you had a whole plethora of black artists. Hip-hop was just on the beginning, I think. This is some mess, y'all. Oof.
talk on the phones to these guys like I did when I was in radio. It's
well,
scary.
I tell you what it means. I tell you what maybe the Isley Brothers or Marvin Gaye means to a black 17-year-old.
Ah.
And surely he's part of America as well.
No
isn't he?
question, no question. And that's why you're seeing those things.
Do you not find that it's a frightening predicament to be in?
Yeah, but less so here than in radio.
And is it not? Well, no, don't say. Well, it's not me, it's them. Is it?
No,
Is
well,
it not possible that it should be a conviction of the station and of other radio stations? To be fair, it does seem to be rampant through American media. Should it not be a challenge to try and make the media far more integrated in music,
happening.
especially of anything in musical terms?
Absolutely, I think it's happening because white music and white musicians are now starting to play more than ever more than they have lately, let's say in the last 10 years,
Yeah.
what black artists have been into. And now, hopefully, the lines are going to start to blur. And when we play a band like ABC,
Yeah.
well, there's white and black kids who are enjoying it, and all of a sudden, well, it's a little bit easier for a white kid to understand it. The fact is, quite frankly, I could even point you towards a letter in the new issue of The Record,
Yeah.
the magazine The Record, responding to an article by Dave Marsh, that this kid just ranted about what he didn't want to see on MTV.
Well, that's his
And in
problem.
no uncertain terms, well, what I'm saying though is
Exactly.
that there's, as you say, there's certainly a lot of black kids and white kids who may want to see black music. There's a ton of them who are, it's not like it was in '67 where you say, yeah, I'm not into that, you know, but you are, yeah. Now it's, you're into that? I don't like you.
Whoa, so interesting, right? So was he kind of making a statement that the 80s was actually more racist than the 60s? Well, we know like racism doesn't have a measure or a level, right? It persists to this day. We know that. Okay, let's go.
And that's scary, and we can't just turn around and go, well, look, this is the right way. We can only teach
Ooh, David
a little bit
Bowie.
at a time.
Stare that man
Interesting.
down.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does that make sense? Valid point?
I understand your point of view.
Good answer, David.
Believe me,
So David pretty much over this interview at this point. This is cringe.
it's a tough
I know.
situation.
I just
and
felt because it's going to be a sooner or later. It's just interesting, and I wanted to know what the response would be there.
There's never been any kind of
I tell you what's
corporate racist, like, we don't want to play black artists, period. We want to play rock and roll.
I just know that from
Also,
Again, so we use labels to hide behind racism.
it's also where cable is. It's where the none of the urban markets have been wired yet. It's all suburban markets. So we had a choice between an R&B station or AOR station. We were at the AOR station. Hopefully, we'll have a R&B station.
it's foremost on my mind, of course, because of the guys, especially I've been working with recently, who are very hostile to the media. In no small way. I mean, they really think that it's a bad deal at the moment, and it hasn't been like this in years. But on the other hand, I feel positive about it because I see another swing happening. There is a new thing happening.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can
Yeah.
understand that if you make a left-hand turn and say, well, we've been playing rock and roll, but now we're going to play, the Commodores, and we're going to play all these bands that black radio, let's say, is
Yeah,
playing.
but let's face it, somebody laid down the ground rules in the beginning. There should be no reason why it has to change.
tape
Should have been there.
Alright, so drop this comment below. If you remember seeing this interview, what was your first thought? Does this make you love David Bowie even more? Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you are a subscriber, make sure you join my Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you get to request me to react to something you want me to react to. I hope everybody's out there feeling good and staying safe. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.